Hey, how's it going, guys? TMTRE here, also known as the man that reviews everything. Today I'm going to be discussing several topics with you guys. I'm going to be discussing Stranger Things Season 4 trailer, a few updates with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and the new company that was just formed a few days ago, Warner Brothers Discovery, and their plans with DC. So, that and a few other topics as well, so let's get into it. Now, I'm going to start off on the Stranger Things Season 4 trailer, give you guys my thoughts on it real fast. So, when I first saw it, when it was released, I liked it a lot, and it got me excited for this season. I totally forgot that they mentioned earlier in the year that Season 5 will be the last season of the show, and I totally forgot too that they were splitting Season 4 into two parts as well. But seeing the trailer and going through it all, I do have kind of there's something bothering me about the trailer. And I think that has to do with the aging of the kids. The kids don't look their part anymore. The kids look so old. And I don't know if that's just me that's noticing it, or, me just paying that much attention to it. Or if there's just some fans out there who don't care about if they look too old or not. But for me, I can really tell, and they just look old, and it kind of bothers me. And how old are they now? And what grade are they in? I know they're still in high school, I want to say. I don't even know if they started off in high school in the beginning of the show. That's another, not with the trailer, but with the show itself, I'm kind of upset with. They take so long to release seasons, Season 3 came out 2019, and here we are 3 years later in 2022. The show came out in, 2016, I think? I don't know. It came out sometimes in the 2010s. Not early, though. Mids. But here we are, already on Season 4. I don't know. They just look old, and it bothers me how long they take to come out with each season, but they don't disappoint when the season comes out. They don't. They kill it. Season 3 was really good, and that's probably one of my favorite seasons of the show. But this new villain for Season 4 is kind of what hooked me into wanting to watch it, because he looks so good, and this looks like a whole new villain that they've never been face to face with before. It looks a lot scarier as a villain as the Mind Flayer or the Demogorgon. I think that's what it is. I haven't seen the show in so long, but I'm excited for it. But the villain in this one, too, I think is also a Dungeons and Dragons villain that, from what I've heard people and news sources say that. But I'm not a big Dungeons and Dragons player. I never played, honestly, so I don't know. But this villain looks so sick, and I can't wait to see the kids go up against it. And it's going to be an awesome season, I think. Now, getting on to the next topic, I want to discuss a quick Thor Love and Thunder update. Recently, Marvel Legends, the toys, I don't know if you guys are familiar with them, but they either put out images or it got leaked of what the toys will look like for Thor Love and Thunder. And we get to see costume designs for Thor, Natalie Portman's character, we get to see for Valkyrie, and even Christian Bale's character, Gore the God Butcher. Now, some fans too aren't happy with the design of the character, but to me, I think he looks fine. I mean, yeah, he doesn't look the best he doesn't even really look like the comic accurate version of Gore the God Butcher. But to me, that's okay, because if you notice on the comic version, he kind of has a pale white face with a flattened nose and a black hood. Who does that remind you of? To me, that reminds me of Voldemort. And if they did that on screen, I think a lot of people would just call them out for it. Be like, you guys are ripping off Harry Potter. This guy looks like Voldemort. The studio wouldn't hear the end of it. So I think they just want to give him a more kind of human look. I want to compare his look to Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy, because that's the kind of same look I'm getting from him. But I'm still excited for the movie. I am. And I'm really excited to see Christian Bale's performance as a villain. Especially in a Marvel movie. We saw him as the Batman, as the main hero. Killed it in that performance. But now we get to see him on the opposite side, on Marvel, as a villain. So I'm really excited to see what he's going to do and how his character is, because I don't know much about Gore the God Butcher either. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on Christian Bale's look in the new Thor Love and Thunder movie coming out this year. Now, the next topic I want to talk about too is something that's going to come as a bit of a surprise to some of you, which is, do you guys know the Spirit Halloween stores that pop up every October and just take over, an empty building for the month? Yeah, that store is getting its own movie. It's getting a horror movie based on some kids wanting to do an internet trend to lock themselves inside the store for the night. But little do they know that the store is possessed, and the animatronics in the store come to life and they start becoming possessed, and the kids have to try to make their way out before they themselves become possessed. Now, to me, I'm not that interested. I'm like, hearing all that, that's just me giving you a summary of the synopsis, and I'm not really that hooked into it for a few reasons. One, Spirit Halloween is like a family store. Every time you go in there, who do you see most of the time? Families searching for costumes for their kids. So I don't think they're gonna go full on making a rated R horror movie based on the store, which would be way better than what they're doing, honestly. I feel like they're gonna make it PG-13. And I feel like this is gonna be like another Are You Afraid of the not Are You Afraid of the Dark? Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. That, like, the movie that came out a few years ago. I feel like it's gonna be like that, where we're not gonna get as much scares, like psychologically or anything. It's gonna be all jump scares. I think it's gonna be I don't think it's gonna be that great of a movie. And supposedly they already finished filming it and they're ready to put it out later this year in October. So I'm not that interested in the movie. I was surprised to find out that this company, this store, is even getting a movie of its own. I don't know. It's cool and everything. I'm sure there will be some people out there who want to check it out and stuff, but I don't know if I'm going to be one of those people. Now, to get into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, we got reports this week saying that Marvel is not going to let any critics, any of the public see the movie until May 2nd, which is a few days before the movie is released worldwide. And now they're doing that because they want to try to contain as much spoilers as possible, meaning, like, if they just let people start watching it like a month before the movie is out, there's going to be so much leaks, so many people revealing the spoilers of the film and all that. So they're trying just to minimize that. They're trying to put it out a few days before the movie comes out, so there's no leaks. And I think they're only going to let the critics see it for the first time on May 2nd, and then reviews be posted a day or two before the movie comes out. Now, I think that's a smart idea, because then that's like Endgame, what they did with that, where they didn't want any major spoilers to be out to the public. So they waited until the week of the film for people to go watch it. And then, I think that's fair. I think it's good that they're doing that. And there's supposedly going to be a lot of surprises in this film. And so I want to keep those surprises, I want to open them or watch them when I'm there for the first time in my seat watching it and being surprised. I don't want to be on Instagram or Twitter then see somebody, oh, did you guys know that Tobey Maguire's in it? No, I don't want to know that. I want to see Tobey for the first time. There are reports that Tobey might be in the movie, and that would be awesome because I love Tobey, and if he's, yeah, I would just love to see it. But I want to also make a theory video later in a few days when I have the time, on discussing who I think is going to be in the movie. Like, who are the cameos or what are the surprises? So that's just a bit of information that I wanted to share with you guys, just in case you guys weren't aware or didn't know any of it. Now on to the next one. It's a little bit of a, polar opposite of Marvel, because now we're going to be discussing the live action Barbie movie. Yeah, Barbie. The one I used to play with when I was younger. Yeah. We got reports this week that it just added a few more members to its already good cast, because they got Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, who I both love, especially Ryan Gosling. Phenomenal. I love the man. But they also added Will Ferrell, and they also added Michael Cera to the cast. Now, Will Ferrell is supposed to play the CEO of Mattel, who is the owner of the Barbie toys. And if you guys didn't know, Margot Robbie was playing Barbie, and Ryan Gosling is, of course, playing Ken. Now, Michael Cera, I don't know who he's playing yet. I don't think that was announced with it, or maybe I just didn't look into it. But it's funny that he gets cast in this movie because lately, like this week, I just started watching Arrested Development again from like season 1, just because like I don't know, I love that show and I can always watch it endlessly on repeat. If you guys haven't watched it, it's a great comedy show on Netflix starring Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, Michael Cera, David Cross. Go check it out. But it's funny that Michael Cera gets cast in this movie as I'm watching a show of his. I just think that kind of corresponds nicely. But I want to see how this movie's going to be played out because it's directed by, and I believe written by, Greta Gerwig, who directed Lady Bird and Little Women. And both of those movies got Oscar recognition, you know, for Best Picture and even the performances of the actresses and the story. And so now with her handling the Barbie movie, I wonder if it's going to be in a serious tone, if it's going to kind of be heartfelt a bit, if it's going to be funny. I don't know what's going to be like yet. But knowing Greta Gerwig, I think she's going to make it a powerful film, you know, and I think this movie could be nominated for a Best Picture, which is funny to think about because a Barbie movie being nominated for Best Picture, crazy to ever think about. But I think it's possible with the person who's directing this movie. I think it's possible, and especially with the cast it's going with too. I think it's just gonna make the movie even stronger. So I'm probably gonna check that out. Honestly, I'm more interested in that than I am with the Spirit Halloween movie. So I'm going to check that out for sure when that comes out. And now my final bit of news for you guys is going to be discussing about Warner Brothers Discovery. Now, if you guys haven't heard, it happened last week when Warner Brothers and Discovery, I think Discovery bought out Warner Brothers or Warner Media, or they just conjoined. Not too sure. I'm pretty sure it's Discovery that bought Warner Brothers. But today they just announced that they want to revitalize DC Comics, DCEU. They want to revitalize that. They feel like there's a bunch of characters within the DC universe that has been left, you know, collecting dust, but that can be used as revitalizing the whole company, the image, and all that. And Superman was one of the names thrown out there, and I'm so glad that they threw that name out there because Superman was done dirty. Man of Steel, I liked Man of Steel. That's my favorite DC movie to be put out. DCEU, you know, because then we have Nolan's Batmans that are just so good. So, but just the DCEU, Man of Steel is my favorite. And I loved Henry Cavill as Superman. I thought he was a really good Superman. And the way that they're just handling his situation, just kind of throwing him off to the side and not going to continue with his character is kind of not cool in a way. But I'm glad that now Discovery's like in charge and is like, no, Superman's like a big property. Let's use him, let's revitalize him, and let's make him the character he is, you know? Let's make him Superman. But then they also came out and said, like, as an example of a secondary character that could become big was the Joker. You know, I'm not saying the Joker is a secondary character because he's like one of the main villains of DC, but I'm just saying to get a standalone film, if you gave, like, let's say Mr. Freeze a standalone film, but make it realistic and make it grounded like you did with the Joker, or maybe even like a Riddler. I know we just saw him in Robert Pattinson's The Batman, but if we gave secondary characters like those their standalone film, they can do good. And we've seen that happen with Joaquin Phoenix, the Joker. So it's doable, and I'm glad that they're realizing that it is possible to do that, because then that opens the door to seeing more characters that not a lot of people are familiar with, or who don't get as much, you know, screen time or spotlight as they deserve. DC's in a whole tangent right now. They're just in a mess. So I hope they get their stuff together and they come up with a well-advised plan to move forward with this. So that's just all the movie and TV show news I have for you guys today. And I know this might be a long video, but I thank you guys for sticking through it, or even just skipping through the parts you want to watch. That's okay too. Don't forget to leave down your thoughts on each segment or on any of the segments that you have in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think. Are you happy or unhappy, excited for anything that I talked about? Let me know. And also, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button as well. That means a lot to me. And that's all I have for you guys today. So thank you guys again so much, and have a good day. Spread the love, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you guys later.